Good morning, and thank you for being here. It's just me today. It's Brooke Ann. I'm a psychic medium, a Reiki practitioner. I'm just going to go over some client questions that I get. A lot of people are curious about what happens after we die. What happens to our soul, and do our loved ones really stay around us? So, yes, one of the first questions I get are my loved ones at peace and are they safe on the other side? And most definitely, no matter how your loved ones passed, whether it was tragically, suddenly, by somebody else, by themselves, health wise, whatever it might be, on how they departed, they are always immediately at peace, and your family helps them cross to the other side. I'm sure you've heard the stories of where people actually reach out and they see their loved ones before they depart because their loved ones that have already departed, I mean, and they'll reach out to them because they see them. So like if their, mom and dad or their spouse has passed before them, our loved ones that are sick might even reach out and say, I see them, I see mom waiting for me. And it's because they really are. Their souls come down to help ease your soul to the other side. And it's always like a beautiful experience and a beautiful thing for your loved ones that are dying. Um, and another one is, do they know I love and miss them? And of course they know that you love and miss them. And the reason that you are sitting in front of a medium is usually because your loved ones in spirit pushed you to make the session, pushed you to find my website, pushed you to find somebody else online or whoever it is that you go to and choose to get a session with, as long as they're legit. That's your loved ones working from the other side for you to be able to hear certain messages and certain, topics that you need to know from your loved ones that nobody else would know besides you and them. And that's their way of working on the other side. And a lot of times people aren't even into what I do. They're not into mediumship, or they think it's baloney, or they think it's fake until they lose somebody significant. And then when you realize you can't call or talk to them anymore, that's when it becomes real, because when you can find somebody to communicate for them, it is such a healing and peaceful experience. And that's what it's about. You should never go to a medium and feel worse when you leave. Your loved ones always show up. They're never stuck. That's another one. Like, is there religion over there? Are they stuck? Also, are you going to get in trouble for seeing me? Because I know there's been a few people that are very religious and very much by the Bible, and they are scared to see me, but they make the appointment anyways, and they think bad things are going to happen to them because they saw me. And then once they meet me, they're like, oh, you don't look anything like I thought you were gonna look. I'm wearing bright pink or whatever color, and I'm nice, and there's no crystal ball. And I'm like, I have pastors that come to me for sessions. Like, of course, I would never say, but I mean, I have pastors, I have people of congregations, I have police, fire, teachers, you name it. Anybody, real estate agents, whoever, whatever it might be, they all come see me. But I know that most of y'all will be shocked that pastors come to see me, that it's actually not as bad as people think. You're not going to hell. There is no hell. Hell is life. Hell is a fear that nobody has seen, because I was watching a show, I guess a week ago, and they were like, why is it that preachers or pastors or what priests, whatever you want to call them, wherever you go, are always like, if you go to hell or you do this, you're going to hell, or you do this, you're going to hell. And he's like, and all these people do this, but then at their funeral, all the pastors and the priests and the preachers say they're in heaven. Well, why is that? Why does nobody go to hell at the funeral? Because there is no such thing. And that is a fear-based thing just for you to be a good person. Just to to instill it in you, just to do good things. Be a good friend, be a good neighbor. Don't do judgment. I mean, it's pretty common and basic knowledge, common sense on how to be, but evidently some people need that to show them the way of how to be. And there's no religion on the other side. So they might show me a cross or a Bible during their session, but that's also just to highlight how they were when they were physically here, or if you still carry some of their religious items in memory of them. But when we pass, there's no religion on the other side. It's all universal because God is one, God is all of us. It's just kind of like in today's world, there's many different religions and they're all praying to the same person just by a different name. It's the same when we pass. Everybody goes to heaven, no matter what. I don't know about serial killers and stuff like that because I've never read for a serial killer. So I'm not sure. But I can imagine that God accepts all. We all turn back into energy. And a lot of that has to do with our physical body and the traumas that we experience in this life. There's also about, do your pets wait for you? Yes, they do. I also feel like pets can reincarnate before humans. So your pet can be your pet many times in your one lifetime. They're just pure love. Pets are so innocent and they're just pure love and they're pure joy and they make our lives better. And they do wait for you, but they can actually reincarnate and become into another pet. So if you ever got a pet and you're like, this reminds me just like my last dog or my last cat, probably is. It could even be a prior pet. Their soul comes back in because pets don't live as long. Cats and dogs only live some 8 years, 7 years, some live till 20, but it's still not long enough. That is still a short lifespan considering if that was our children or that was us. 20 years is not that long. You would want to reincarnate before the end of your loved one's life because 20 years is never enough. Anybody that passes away before that is just it's not fair almost. And then there's always the questions of what happens when we die. Are we floating? Are we just kind of everywhere? Are we hanging out? Are we doing the stuff that we used to love? Are we eating the food that we used to love? I mean, on the other side, there's no physical body. So food is a human need. It's not a soul need. Bowling or golfing or things like that is not human. And you don't need cars. So, I mean, it's not a soul thing. It's a human thing. So all of that kind of goes away, but they do hang out with the people that they love because you're solely connected, I do believe. And that's why during your sessions they show up, whether it's been one day or 40 or 50 years since they've departed, they wait for you until it's time for you to cross when it's your turn. Because there's no time on the other side. We keep time, they don't. We know what's happening at every every day, every minute. What do we got going on? What's happening? What's my week look like? They don't have to worry about that. They don't have to worry about work. They don't have to put a roof over their head, but they do hang out with you and they all are always around you. They're always around you in spirit. They were always showing you signs, whether you accept them or not. But I love when they'll show you like angel numbers or they'll show you your specific sign, whether it's ladybugs or mine is hearts. Like everything comes in the shape of a heart, which I absolutely love. And you pick. I mean, maybe it's birds. I love birds too. And the older I get, the more attached to birds I am. I love seeing birds. And if you were to ask me this like 20 years ago, I'd be like, that's just a bird. Like, who cares? But the more that you lose people, the more you accept them as signs because they truly are. Especially when they stare at you or they tap on your window, you're like, what the heck? Or there was a dragonfly in my house. And I just say thank you because I know that's my loved ones in spirit, just pushing them into my direction or into my sight so I can see them and know that not alone. That's like one of the hardest parts about losing our loved ones in spirit is feeling alone and missing them, like missing their voice, missing their friendship, their companionship, the stuff that you used to do with them, their touch, their hugs, their kisses, whatever it might be. That is one of the hardest things about losing somebody we love. And, grief doesn't go away. It doesn't go away because you say it goes away or because you say, I'm having a good day today. Tomorrow might not be good. Tomorrow might not be easy. It comes in waves. It comes in different emotions. You can look or see a video that reminds you of your loved one and can get emotional. You can hear a song. I love it when our loved ones kind of put themselves over somebody in public and we see them, even though it's not them, but we know it's their soul saying, I'm right here and I'm okay, to try to get your attention because it's so hard because it's such a bond. And it's weird, right? Death is weird. Like how do you go from talking to somebody, laughing, even arguing or having moments that you can just call them or if it's your spouse, you roll over in bed and you can just snuggle with them or have plans with somebody and then poof, you don't. It's as if they never existed if you didn't have those memories, if you didn't have what you know to be true, because somebody else wouldn't even know who you were talking about because they never got the opportunity to meet them. If you were to meet a stranger, they have no idea what they missed out on. And it's just such a weird feeling with grief and with losing our loved ones where how is it that they're here 1 second and not the next? And where does their soul go? Where did they go? Their personality, who they are. And that is one of the hardest parts of grief too, is just tapping in to know and trust that your loved ones are okay, that their souls are at peace, that they're always with you. And that's why I always suggest go to a reputable medium. All mediums are not 100%. I'm not 100%. There's definitely things that I get wrong or I don't understand. But if you were to say that you knew that your loved one was in the room with me, then I did my job. Because it's not easy to communicate with our loved ones that have passed. They don't have a mouth, they don't have a body. Their soul is there, but it's like reading energy. It's reading essentially their soul and what matters to them and what is it that they want me to say in this moment today. That's what's the most important about life after death is validating that we truly live on, that we're truly okay, that this isn't the end. Like this body is not the end of us, and our loved ones will be waiting for us, and our loved ones will be there to greet us. And that is what is absolutely beautiful about what I get to do. How blessed am I to be able to deliver these messages to you guys from your loved ones? It is with my highest honor. And I have put in a lot of work to learn what your loved ones are saying. Definitely did not happen overnight, and I respect your loved ones to the highest degree, to get their words correct and to feel the emotions and to feel who they are and to blend with their soul so you get the healing that you need during the session. But I promise that your loved ones are okay. And there's tons of angels around you, and there's tons of other spirit life that we can't even feel or see. And there's things beyond my even comprehension or even what I have even witnessed that I know is out there. I just haven't experienced it yet. But if you always make it a positive thing and not a negative thing, that's what you will attract from it is all the positivity, the love, and the healing that you get from connecting with your loved ones. And you can do this yourself too. You just got to trust that it's really them. You got to trust that it's your loved ones in spirit showing you the signs. You have to talk to them. And if you already talk to them, I cannot tell you how happy that makes your loved ones in spirit. Have the conversations, whether you go to their grave, whether you say it to their ashes, whether you just speak it in the car or doing your daily stuff or even doing the dishes. They love it and they hear you. They hear your conversations, and that has been proven in my sessions that they literally hear the things you say before you even show up to me. And that is where nobody can Google or look it up, but it just shows that our souls stay with you, and they go on. And they go on to be amazing. And that is what is healing. So those were just some of the questions I get. So if you guys have other questions about, life after death or about your loved ones in spirit, please leave them in the comments. And I'll be happy to answer them on another episode of the podcast. because I feel like it's important for you to know that they are at peace and they are okay, and that their soul is right next to you, rooting you on, cheering you on, protecting you in all of your hardships, or when you feel alone, they are sitting there holding your hand. And it is such a beautiful thing to witness. And I truly am honored. I know I said it before, but I truly am honored to be able to work with them, because I work for your loved ones, and it's a blessing. And it's a blessing that y'all trust me with your loved ones to communicate for them or deliver the messages that you need to hear in that moment. I am so grateful. My heart is overflowing with gratitude every day. My feet hit the floor, and every time I go to bed at night, I say my gratitude prayer, not only to your loved ones in spirit, but to God, to my spirit guides, my angels, and source. So those are just a few questions that I wanted to touch on, but like I said, please leave some questions in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them the best of my knowledge. Obviously, you can have your own views and opinions, and that is totally fine. There is nothing wrong for believing what you want to believe. So I hope you all have a beautiful day. We will see you next week, and namaste.